Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. It's Thursday morning. I'm out walking. Crack of dawn here. As you all very well know, been laid up for the past 3 days, kind of, with this head cold. I took most of the day off yesterday. It was really weird. It was really weird. I turned the notifications off on my cell phone. It lay there quiet most of the day. Hadn't done that in a year. It was very, very strange. I felt better yesterday, but my energy was still a little bit zapped. And as it got into the evening and I got better rested, I felt better. And I said, well, okay, enough of this invalid stuff. I need to get back to getting a little physical movement. I need to start eating more. I have been trying to follow that old adage, and I think I got it correct. I think it was feed a cold. No, wait a minute. It was feed a fever, starve a cold. Wait a minute. Was it starve a cold, feed a... It was one of those. At any rate, rather than go by arbitrary rules, I just kind of ate when I was hungry. And I think because of that cold, I wasn't quite as hungry. So I probably ate half as much food as I normally do. But I did stay hydrated, because I think that's important when you got a cold, to stay hydrated. So here it is. If I was still acting as though I had a cold, this morning would be day 4. This would be day 4 of this cold, but maybe it's still a little bit of it left, but no runny nose, no sneezing, no sore throat. Feel my energy coming back. It's just kind of a test this morning. See if I can go for not many miles of a walk, but maybe a half-hour walk. Keep up the pace. Keep talking. So we'll see, and never have any problem doing that, because I always have plenty to talk about. So at any rate, last night, I'm saying to myself, I'm going to pay the price for this day off. Mitch, you're going to wish you hadn't taken the day off. There are probably hundreds and hundreds of unanswered comments that you're going to have to do something with to get them out of your YouTube unread comments feed. It's like when your email box fills up full of unread emails. You got to do something with them. The easiest thing is just to empty the mailbox and delete everything. YouTube will not let us do that with your comments. There is no way other than giving it a heart or a reply. Other than that, a comment is there in your inbox saying, deal with me, or I'm going to hound you for the rest of your life. Wow, look at this. Isn't this fancy? Look at this here. They've made a little shrine of sorts. Very cool. Very cool. So I felt okay last night. It got to be around 10 o'clock. And I said, I know I said I was going to take the day off, but I'm feeling okay. I rested all day. I don't want to go to bed knowing that my entire day tomorrow is going to be monopolized reading and answering 1,000 comments. So I very bravely looked at my computer and was surprised to see that so many of you let me have the day off. And those of you that did comment, basically, were just well-wishers who said, feel better soon, things like that. And I was able to give a heart to all those comments that wished me well. I didn't answer. Maybe one or two of them required an answer. So if you got a heart from me on a comment you left me yesterday, thank you. Thank you so much. Made me feel good. I dealt with a few little business emails and went to bed before 11, 5 o'clock this morning. Bang, I'm up as usual. It's 6:45 right now. I've already done work on the computer. I think I dealt with 20 or 30 comments that came in last night while I was sleeping. And of course, was faced with a couple of comments that puzzled me on how do I react? How do I react? And one of the things I wanted to talk about today was one of the fundamental and basic philosophies of my channel, the basic way that I approach what I do to try to add some stability and validity to the message that I put out. At its heart, my channel, and I've said this many times, is an N of 1 experiment that I am doing on myself for 2 reasons. To find out as scientifically as I can whether this no veggie, all meat, carnivore lifestyle is indeed as healthy as those say, or, on the other hand, as dangerous and deadly as the others say. Now, logically, looking at it from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes probably the only sense in a dietetic or from a dietetic standpoint. But that doesn't mean that over tens or hundreds of thousands of years, the human animal hasn't adapted and changed. That is how evolution works. But I'm trying to treat this as a scientist. And that became very evident to me in reading the comments and reading the suggestions from most of you, well-meaning suggestions that came out of the desire to see me get better. But it took this particular head cold to kind of upset the apple cart of 2 years of what I considered perfect health, doing nothing other than eating meat, taking a few limited external things, supplements. But the experiment was, can a human body, specifically my human body, at my age of 77 years old, maintain itself in optimal physical and mental health when everyone else around me who's my age and eating the standard American diet or the vegetarian diet or the low salt, low fat diet, the no meat diet, how does my health, my state of mind, how does it compare with theirs? Now, in order for me to maintain some kind of scientific integrity, I have to completely understand the scientific method. I have to understand variables, confounders. I have to understand in order to ascertain whether something is causing something else. You can only have one variable. And I'll give you a small example of that. If you're doing fine on carnivore, and you decide for some God knows what reason that you think you can't live another day without green vegetables, and the next day you decide you're going to start eating 3 different green vegetables every day. You're going to eat broccoli, asparagus, and Brussels sprouts. And you start eating these every day. A week later, you break out with hives all over your body. You run to the store, you get calamine lotion. You start taking Benadryl, the itch is driving you crazy. Now, if you're a scientist, you say to yourself, well, what changed? I didn't have all this torturous itching rash a week ago. What changed? Well, I added green vegetables. Well, you say to yourself, which vegetable was it? And that's where your experiment was ill-conceived. Because you added 3 variables, 3 different vegetables. And now, as you scratch wildly, you say, I have no way of ascertaining which one it was. That's why when you change something to see if there are going to be any results, you can only change one thing at a time, and then you gotta wait. You gotta wait to find out if there's a result. Sometimes that might take a month to show up. With food sensitivities, it usually does, sometimes longer. So it's a long, painful method. But if you don't do it one at a time, the only way to fix this itchy mess you're in now is stop all 3 of them, let your body heal, and start over, one at a time. For me, that's a silly thing to do, because who needs the frigging vegetables anyway? But that's science. So here I am. I've been doing science on my body. I have been getting advice from thousands of people. You need to take this supplement. You need to eat that food. You need to do all this other stuff. My experiment is I am eating no vegetables. The only plants I'm allowing are coffee, I am taking only a few supplements, electrolytes. I am not deviating from this. I am moderating my food, alternating the foods that I eat. I'm going to stay with this pattern and this routine as closely as I can and change nothing. So I get all of these suggestions. My grandma said if you ate toad's gizzards and cooked them a certain way, then you were going to be wonderful. I am not adding toad's gizzards to my routine. I am not adding any variables. So along comes this cold. Along comes this cold. And I say, what an opportunity. I am not going to do a thing. I am not going to take an over-the-counter medication. I am not going to artificially try to help my immune system or change my body chemistry at all. I am going to see, with no uncertainty, am I a healthier human being? Being a carnivore than everybody else who gets a head cold. What is going to happen to me with no intervention other than staying hydrated and following my body's cues as far as hunger, sleep, and everything else? That's science. That was science among a barrage of suggestions. Well, when I get a cold, I take this. Well, when I get a cold, I take that. This always stops my runny nose. This always stops my sneezing. This, and I'm saying to myself, thank you so much for being concerned. But stop screwing up my experiment. I'm doing this for you and me both. I'm doing this to have some real, scientifically conducted experiment with no variables. Because if I took grandma's anti-sneezing recipe and the sneezing stopped, what was it? Was it grandma's recipe, or was it the fact that I'm healthy because of the carnivore diet? If I were to try any one gram, 1 ounce of crap that your grandmother swore by, I have fucked up the greatest opportunity to draw something absolutely conclusive from my 2 years of hard work. That's how I approach this. That, my friends, is why I think my message on a credibility scale of what I tell you works is based on real science. It's based on real science or scientific methods, not documented, not registered as a study, just an N of 1. And that is why when you tell me you need to take 50,000 international units of vitamin D, I say, will you kindly stop trying to fuck up my experiment, our experiment? I want you, when you see me telling you what I found out works, I want you to know that I'm healthy, that I've just walked for a half an hour this morning. After 3 days of being sick with a cold. That yes, I've done nothing but be a carnivore. And it worked. And it worked. Thanks for going on this walk with me. I actually feel pretty good. I think I'm almost back to 100%. Maybe a little bit, but as far as I'm concerned, yes, there's no other way to live. No other way to live. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tonight on my live stream, my private community live stream. And with that, y'all take the rest of the day off and eat meat.